Hey everyone, it is the Bohemian CEO, aka Sarah Crawford. I'm here to talk about one of my absolute favorite new findings. Don't mind the painting that's going on in my room behind me, we're almost done. But I'm talking about the Ashley Black Fascia Blaster today. This little device has literally changed my life already. I have been doing it for 10 days. Today's my 10th day. I have lost 11.5 inches off of my body. I have 2 little boys. My youngest is 7 months. I have pretty severe abdominal scarring, but I have lost a large point of my overhang here. Now don't be alarmed by the bruising. It's actually just a sign that this device is working. It's sending healing blood to the area of my stomach. However, I've been getting a lot of questions from fellow fascia blasters on the technique that I'm using on my stomach to get it to have such a quick response. So I'm a natural hourglass shape, but as you can see in the back, I have what you call like a square butt. So my butt starts really high. So some of my goals is I'm trying to get this to come down a lot further, and I'm working on my legs. I've actually lost 2.5 inches, 1 inch off of one leg and 1.5 inches off the other leg. I have lost 2 inches off my hips. I've lost 2 inches off of this portion of my tummy. I have lost 2 inches off my waist, and I have lost 2.5 inches off of like my bra band area right here. And that has only been in 10 days, you guys. Absolutely no diet, no exercise changes whatsoever. I do eat well. I'm an active person, but it's been very difficult for me. I have severe diastasis recti, which is where your muscles do not come back together after pregnancy. My ab muscles are about this far apart on my stomach still. So I've had a really hard time with my stomach, and this device, you guys, in 10 days has tightened my stomach up enough. And I will show my before picture so you can see where my overhang was. But let's go ahead and get down to the demo, okay? So the first thing I do is I'm using, this is like I got this at my local Kroger. It's the Acacia Lavender Massage Oil. There's nothing special to the massage oil though. It's just, yeah, I think it's like predominantly grapeseed and jojoba oil. So I just rub this over. You don't really want to rub it in, just enough to give some lubricant for the fascia blaster. And I bring it all the way up here, because a lot of what happened during pregnancy is this weight got up. This is my rib cage, so a lot of the weight came up over those ribs. So I'm really wanting to get that rib cage worked back down, okay? So the first thing that I do is I just grab it in the center like this, and I work my ribs, okay? I just like go in that downward motion to push off of my ribs. And again, as with every video, so I will do these motions like this for about 3 minutes all the way across, sometimes even 5 minutes, and just really, really work it, okay? I just want to give you guys an idea of the movements I'm doing. So I'm doing that first, okay? So I push everything down, then I go straight into the diamond. So I grab handle to handle, and I work this in a diamond shape. So here's my biggest tip, is I tighten my stomach and I lean back as far as I possibly can to get my angle. And I breathe deeply while keeping a contraction in my stomach. Okay, so as I do this, I just work it. So in the front, I'm working it here, and then I'm working it down. This is where my rib cage is, okay? So I come right under my rib cage, and that part always hurts the most. I'm not even on my bone, but I'm wanting to carve this out to make sure that I'm still keeping my hourglass waist. So I work here, okay? And then I do the same thing on the other side, just like algebra the whole time. I do one side and then the other. And again, I'll spend about 3 minutes doing this. So I kind of start here, and then I work it down toward my belly button while leaning back, okay? Does that make sense? So working up, and then working it down. And then once I've done that, I go into the diamond shape from my hip bones inward, okay? So when I do anything around this poochie area, I lift up my tummy, okay? I lift this up so that this fascia blaster is really getting into that tissue, okay? Do you see how much I'm like in there by lifting this up? And I'm doing this about every other day right now, because that's all the longer it takes for my bruises to not be sore. They look god-awful, but they don't hurt, so don't be alarmed. So again, we're just doing this. So I follow the line of my hip bone. So my hip bone is right here. So I follow the angle of my hip bone. I carve it out toward this piece while lifting my tummy, and I work from hip bone inward all the way to my belly button at that angle. And then again, I switch. I actually have to lift up because I'm very right-handed, so I still lift up with my left hand and blast with my right, but I do the same thing. So once I've done my diamond here, then I really lean back and I do it up and down. Now, when I first started, you guys, I could not do the up and down motion. My stomach was overhanging itself too much. So when that was first going on and I was really working on that overhang, I lifted up like this and I did this, oh my gosh, you guys, till I was like breathing through it, like till it hurt. I was at about a 7 or an 8 in pain. So I'm flexing right now because I'm wanting to lyse a lot of this fat tissue. And I would just lift this up and I would work back and forth, hip bone to hip bone, until I literally couldn't stand it. From belly button all the way down to like below in here. Because I have some pretty severe stretch marking scars, okay? So here it is. So I would just work it, lift this up, work it side to side. And then now that I'm at a place where my overhang isn't like flopping like, have you guys ever seen Click where he has it? He's like, it's like a tongue. That's how my tummy was. So I do this now, okay? And again, it hurts like a mother, I promise, but it's worth it. But anytime you have your muscles tight, and I'm doing this, but if I feel like I'm getting too much of like a slingshot feeling in here, then I spend a good amount of time and I will go back and forth. I will even like come in here where like, if you guys can see, this is starting to tighten up, but it still looks like somebody took like a zip tie, like a zipper, and zipped me up right here. So I work even heavily like right down here in that angle, and I do some really focused work in there as well. And then my last tip as far as the stomach goes is I'll work down my sides like this, but I spend a lot of time doing this motion right here. So it's like right underneath, like cupping the base of my ribs with this portion, the lower portion, kind of pushing into the top of my hip bone. And I will work that like crazy. That way I am keeping my hourglass shape. So this is always being pushed in. And then obviously the back is another tutorial of how I'm working this down. But those who are wondering how I get my back, I grab here and here from behind my back, and I can start up here and I just work down like at a diagonal side to side, but there's no massage oil right there right now. So I do that, and then I bend over as far as I can, and I work the bejeebies out of this, which is why this is so bruised, is because I go to town on this. So again, yeah, so I push down first, I work my diamond next. For about 5 minutes, I work that diamond, and then I go in, I lift up, I do my vicious side to side until I literally can barely even stand the pain. And then to top off my routine, I lean back as far as I can and I go up and down all the way, like side to side like this. And if that belly is flopping that day, then I just hold it and I'll just keep working this as much as I can. But I do try to get some of this motion in as much as it'll allow me. But that is how I've gotten these results. Like I said, this is day 10. So I'm gonna blast for real now. I'm not gonna go into all of it. I just wanna give you guys the motions. I know that this is already a little bit long, but I wanted to be sure to let you guys know exactly how I'm doing this. It's changing my life, you guys. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. I'm doing my legs, I'm doing my butt, I'm doing my back and my stomach. That's my problem areas. And I will just keep sharing you guys with sharing you my results. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really hope that this helps some of my fellow blasters out there. And I will show you some of my before and afters after this video. All right, thanks so much, guys. I'll see you next time. Hey, really quickly, I did want to talk about heat. A lot of you are asking what I am doing to heat my body. So what I have done so far is I have taken like a mineral bath. Again, my local Kroger has this Uracacia big brand. They had like this mineral soak. It's supposed to be kind of detoxing. So I did that a couple of times, took a bath, nice hot bath, and then got out and blasted. But the rest of the time, I literally just put my headphones on in my phone, because I do this like late at night after my babies are in bed, my husband's asleep. That's when I do this. But I then put my headphones in and I literally will dance until I'm sweaty in my closet with my headphones in. I'm 30 years old. I'm totally not ashamed, but I'll dance like literally like hardcore dancing until I'm super sweaty and then I blast. That is literally all that I'm doing to generate heat right now. But like I said, I wanted to spend my first 2 weeks with no diet and exercise changes, but I'm going to move into adding additional exercise into my active lifestyle that I already have, and I'm going to start trying to blast in the shower sometimes too. So just to answer that question, that is what I'm doing for heat. All right, thanks guys.